everybody, welcome to Cinema Trailer News. My name is Chris, and here's my list of the top 10 best shows of 2022. So let's start with number 10, Blackbird. What an impressive comeback for Taron Egerton. A very impressive physique. He has the physique of a superhero in this show. Now, the way I describe this show, if you like Mindhunter, you should definitely watch Blackbird. The FBI basically blackmails drug dealer and arms dealer Jimmy King. True story, by the way, and get a confession out of a suspect serial killer named Larry Hall. Played by Paul Walter Hauser. Egerton and Paul Walter Hauser are the very best here with the performances, and it's just the both are so great in this show, and they intercut with flashbacks of Hauser suspected horrific murders. And Blackbird is definitely up there with the best presence and dramas and crime thrillers. It's just amazing. It's on Apple TV Plus, so highly recommend you watch it. My number 9 is Andor. Just a good show overall. From the very first episode, it sets the tone for the rest of the show. It's a Star Wars show. It's very dark. It has some very interesting commentary, and it's just brilliantly well made. And also, in terms of the Star Wars, you don't get better than this. And who will ever forget Andy Serkis' Kino Loy? And that's all I'll say, because I'm trying to make this spoiler free as possible, because some of you may not have watched some of this stuff. And also, Stellan Skarsgård instantly iconic speech about rebellion. You're like, whoa. And like, it's great to have a show with 12 episodes, and because you can have you have the time to properly introduce this character and develop them, and this is definitely the way for Star Wars, and it's now on Disney Plus. Andor. Now my number 8 is Wednesday. Now Jenna Ortega's performance here is a star turn, and her dance scenes is a real gem. And if you don't love her performance until that point in episode 3, that's when you will fall in love with the character. And she's now iconic, and she has a very interesting behind the scenes story on the dance scenes, which is now iconic. And it's just, I think they reinvent her character. It is more of a Gothel and Nancy Drew combined, and it just it feels right for the character. And also, in large part, it has a huge audience, and because it has this 4-quadrant appeal, Luis Guzman was great, but Catherine Zeta-Jones was excellent here, and that's on Netflix. Now, number 7, Winning Time. Now, Winning Time tells the story of the Bucks family and the Lakers dynasty from the very beginning. But Winning Time isn't just the story about the Laker is the story of how basketball was able to surpass baseball and football and to become this hugely popular spectator sport, and which it is to this day. It's just amazing to watch. If you like business and sports and basketball, you shall definitely go and watch this. And I think that it tells the story how they reinvent basketball to not only make it more effective, but to increase its entertainment value of watching the game, how the teams play, and that's amazing to me, and I love seeing that, and highlighted by great performances, great script, and amazing directing, and that's now on HBO Max. Now, number 6, The Boys. Now, The Boys season 3. This show has become appointment television, really, and Anthony Starr Homelander just getting better and better. And just when you think he cannot possibly top himself, he actually go and do that, and he tops himself. And now The Boys started out in the comics as a lampoon commentary on superhero story, and it still is, but it's so good that he has become so popular as the superhero that they were parodying. And it's a universe of its own, and DC and Marvel may try to go dark, but they will never be able to go as dark and deep as The Boys. And that's where The Boy is in terms of that darkness, is way a step ahead of the competition. Now, number 5 is Stranger Things 4. Now, Stranger Things has become movie level entertainment thanks to the 4th season, where every episode was basically its own movie, and was just a thrill for Netflix to drop a 7 movies instantly, and then 2 others for the part 2, and 11 finally getting a villain worthy of her, with the amazing captivating performance by Jamo Campbell Bolle, whose identity has so many layers, and it kept us all guessing until the very final review. And that's of course on Netflix. And number 4, The White Lotus. Now, I know it's so high, maybe a little bit because the show just wrapped, but easy. This is HBO Sunday night appointment television, where we all watch together and then discuss it on a big weekly party, and it's hard to top that. And it seems that the very first White Lotus couldn't be topped. We all of he wins a ton of awards and raised the bar quite high. But I think this season 2 basically is even better than the first one, and the first one was great, was brilliant. And but then to evolve this show into a murder mystery was brilliant, and to go from a commentary on, well, to, well, let's say intimate relationships, and that just broadened the appeal of the show. And that was a really smart idea. The cast is excellent, with very juicy performances. Plus, whoa, Jennifer Cooley, she's a meme machine, and that scene, if you watch the show, you know what scene I'm referring in the final episode. Fantastic. Now, number 3, The Offer. Now, this show is probably a lot too inside baseball for some people, but I think there has never been a more accurate show of depiction how it's like to actually make a movie, and all the different levels, from the talent on the ground to in front and behind the camera and behind, and to the studio heads and the suits who runs the company and owns the studio. Matthew Good as Robert Evans, well, one of the best performances on television. And then when you see all of those iconic scenes from The Godfather, where they were conceived and executed, is the ultimately behind the scenes, plus all the dramas of a scripted show. Yet it's still very accurate, and it's just so good. It must be watched. And number 2, House of the Dragon. Now talk about something like appointment television. After all, the horrible final season of Game of Thrones and series finale, it was so bad that fans swore they would never go back to Game of Thrones. But House of the Dragon is so good that we all instantly find ourselves back in it. And Matt Smith delivered the star-watching performance that he was supposed to hear. And the whole cast is stellar. And also, it's just the first Game of Thrones, but the real MVP and the heart of the first season of House of the Dragon is Patty Constantine. He as King Viserys. Seriously, his character arc from a buffoon to everyone favorite there, we were all like, don't touch him. And you are missing out if you haven't watched it. This is one of the best character arc that I've ever seen. It was so well done here, and love it. I love it. And it also is setting up the Dance of the Dragons for the very next season, aka Dragon Civil War. And the season finale this time, it was very good, and they really stick the landing. Now, my number 1, and the the best show of 2022 is Severance. Now, if you haven't watched Severance, you probably like, seriously. But if you watch Severance, you know that's a bullseye number 1 from Ben Stiller. Severance is top-notch science fiction. The show is a slow burn, but what added to the fun weekly release on Apple TV was that nobody was watching this show. And this is so good, and I can't believe nobody is watching this show and no one is talking about it. But now it's popular, especially after that one season. Finally, they positioned themselves beautiful for season 2, and the season finale was one of the most intense, shocking edge of your seat moment you ever had. It was incredible. I mean, talking about brilliance, this is a brilliant show. Talk about from performance, production design, the story, the characters. It's just so well written. It's just this is a must watch. Definitely, it's on Apple TV, and I highly recommend it. So that's my list of the top 10 best shows of 2022. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, consider subscribe to your channel, and thank you so much for watching. See you guys later. Bye bye.